Some lessons don't announce themselves. They don't arrive with applause or chaos. They slip into ordinary moments, quiet and unnoticed, and stay heavy in the heart, long after the day ends. On a clear, peaceful morning, in a quiet American neighborhood, one such moment unfolded. It was simple, it was silent, and it changed more than one life forever. An elderly street maintenance worker stood on the sidewalk, a worn broom resting in her hands, while laughter rang out behind her. And from inside a parked luxury sedan nearby, a wealthy man watched his understanding of the world shift in an instant. Before we continue, if you believe kindness still matters, if you believe in second chances and treating every human being with dignity, please like this video, share it, leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to World of Kindness. Also, tell us where you're rewatching from. We truly love hearing from you. Her name was Evelyn Moore, 68 years old. She was small in stature, thin, her back slightly curved from years of honest labor. Every weekday morning, she wore the same pale blue sanitation vest, pulled a cap over her silvering hair, and stepped outside with quiet resolve. She never expected appreciation. She never waited for praise. She only believed that work done with care still mattered. Evelyn had raised her children on her own after life took a sudden, unforgiving turn decades earlier. Her retirement checks weren't enough to survive on, so she worked part-time for the city, keeping streets clean that most people barely noticed. The roads were familiar. The glances were familiar too. Some offered polite smiles. Others avoided eye contact. Many never saw her at all. That morning, Evelyn was sweeping near a line of trash bins outside a newly built apartment complex. The sun was warm. The air was still. Everything felt ordinary. Then laughter floated toward her. Near the building entrance stood Lauren Bennett, 27 years old, stylish, confident, and comfortable in a life that had never required struggle. She wore a fitted crimson dress and chatted loudly with friends, her words careless, her laughter effortless. To her, the morning was nothing more than another pleasant moment. What Lauren didn't realize was that her father-in-law, Daniel Bennett, sat quietly inside his car across the street. Daniel was a self-made millionaire respected across the state, a man who had built success from nothing. Yet over the years, wealth had quietly distanced him from the everyday realities of ordinary people. That morning, he had come to surprise his son. Instead, he found himself witnessing something he could not look away from. When Laura noticed Evelyn near the bins, her expression shifted, not with concern, but with annoyance. She made a dismissive gesture, a comment spoken casually, without cruelty in her voice, but without compassion in her heart. Her friends laughed, not out of malice, but out of thoughtlessness. It wasn't loud cruelty. It was worse. It was indifference. Evelyn paused briefly. Not from fear, but from habit. She tightened her grip on the broom, lowered her gaze, and quietly stepped aside to give them room. No argument, no reaction, only dignity learned through a lifetime of being overlooked. From his car, Daniel felt a weight settle in his chest. He wasn't watching a stranger. He was watching the woman his son had chosen to love, a woman living comfortably within values he believed he had passed down. And in that moment, a painful truth surfaced. Money had shielded his family from hardship, but it had also dulled their sense of humanity. Evelyn finished her task and continued down the street, her figure shrinking with every step. Daniel watched until she disappeared around the corner. He remained seated long after, replaying the scene, wishing he hadn't seen it, but knowing he needed to. That evening, Daniel invited his son and daughter-in-law to dinner. His voice was steady. Nothing seemed unusual. Lauren arrived smiling, unaware. At first, the conversation was ordinary work, plans, small talk. Then Daniel gently shifted the tone. He spoke about respect, about how our society is judged by how it treats those who do the quiet work. He described the elderly street worker outside the apartment building that morning. Slowly, Lauren's smile faded. Recognition settled in her eyes. Daniel didn't accuse her. He didn't raise his voice. He spoke with disappointment, not anger. He reminded her that dignity isn't found in clothing, addresses, or status. It lives in character. And the values she practiced today would shape not only her life, but the family she belonged to. Lauren tried to explain, but the words sounded hollow, even to herself. That night, sleep wouldn't come. The image of Evelyn, quiet, composed, unseen, returned again and again. For the first time, Lauren questioned herself. Not because she was forced to, but because she needed to. Change didn't happen instantly. but awareness had taken root. A few days later, Lauren saw Evelyn again on the same street. This time, she was alone. No friends. No laughter. She hesitated, then walked toward the elderly woman and gently offered a bottle of water. Evelyn looked up, surprised. Their eyes met, one filled with quiet strength, the other with reflection. Evelyn accepted the water with a nod, no resentment. No judgment, only grace. That moment stayed with Lauren. In the weeks that followed, she began noticing people she once ignored. She listened more, she spoke less, she learned names. Daniel watched from a distance, saying nothing, knowing that real change cannot be demanded. It must grow. One morning, Evelyn noticed something different along her route. A familiar woman in a red dress stood nearby, not laughing, not mocking, simply watching with respect. Evelyn nodded politely and returned to her work, the broom steady in her hands. If this story touched your heart, if it made you reflect on how we treat those who quietly serve our communities every day, please like this video and share it with someone who believes kindness still matters. And before we end, one final request. Comment below one small act of respect or kindness you promise to practice this week. Your words may inspire someone you'll never meet. Because sometimes the most powerful lesson doesn't come from wealth or authority. It comes from an elderly woman with a broom, quietly reminding the world what dignity truly looks like.